The proton pack is not a toy.
Hey everybody, welcome back to The Proton Pack is Not a Toy. My name is Matt, and again we're talking Ghostbusters Afterlife today. I've been doing a weekly series where we talk about just things I have on my mind about the movie, and now we are 65 days away from November 19th when the movie is scheduled to release in North America, and here on the channel we're saying no spoilers, no leaks until November 19th. So I won't be putting anything spoilerish here on the channel for you to run across, and I ask that you do the same and not put anything in the comments that might be considered a spoiler or a leak or anything that somebody wanting to go into the movie fresh wouldn't want to see in the comments. So if you follow that, I appreciate it. There are spoiler accounts on Twitter and places you can go on the internet. If you just put Ghostbusters Afterlife and spoilers and search and you're looking for that kind of thing, you can find it. I had an account on Twitter reach out to me this week, say, hey, we're out here. We respect you guys who don't want to see that kind of stuff, so just warn your audience that just be careful because we are out here. So keep that in mind when you are just randomly searching on the internet or on Twitter, different places. Those accounts are out there. They're putting stuff out there with, no apologies. And, there's a segment of the community that wants to see things that way and watch things having been spoiled by, information. For this movie, I'm to the point where I don't want to see anything else. I did kind of follow the spoiler thread pretty closely on GB Fans for a long time, and finally got to the point where like, okay, that's enough. I don't want to see anymore. I'm good. Let's just go from there. One thing that we do have that's spoiler-ish that I'm going to kind of dance around today. There was a video released by Tested, the Adam Savage YouTube account, where he puts up a lot of videos. He has put up a teaser video the last few weeks ago, talking about how he was on set when they were filming the movie and talking to a lot of the behind-the-scenes crew and designers, things of that nature, and then looking around the set and then showing some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. So we did get that teaser probably about a month ago at this point. And then today, they released one with him spending some time with a set designer there at the farmhouse. It's a cool video. I did watch that one. We don't all agree on what would constitute as a spoiler probably. So I'm just going to be very careful and not put anything in my video here. But I will point you in that direction. If you want to go to YouTube and look up the Tested video with Adam Savage, it released today. There is a nod to Ghostbusters 2 pretty early on in that video as he talks to that set designer. And again, I won't mention what it is, but it made me happy to see it. It's one of the things, I might not even mentioned it in the video last week when I did talk about Ghostbusters 2, how I wanted more references. But it was cool to see, as soon as I put that out a week later, there was a Ghostbusters 2 reference on a behind-the-scenes video. So excited about that. Another thing I'm excited about, speaking of Adam Savage, I am planning to go with my son this weekend to Fan Expo in Dallas, and Adam Savage is going to be there. So my son and I are going to go geared up in our Ghostbusters flight suits. Me and him are going to share, me and my son are going to share the proton pack. It's pretty heavy, so a full day at a con makes it, rough on you to carry it the whole time. So we're going to go back and forth. He's 13 years old, but he's my size. So he can handle it for a little bit at least and give me a break. It'll be fun. If you plan on being there, if you're local here to Dallas-Fort Worth and you're going to be at Fan Expo, come say hi, look for me, and I'll have some of my little business cards that I made, and I'll be handing those out. And I'd like to, take pictures with people, say hi, and just enjoy the time to be out and about with people that have, a shared interest and such things. with Adam Savage being there, I do plan on getting a picture made with him and a autograph. I do have a picture, I've got it right over here. I'll go ahead and show you what I want to get autographed. Matt Sanders from the containment unit got one like this, and I messaged him on Facebook Messenger, and he sent me the screenshot that he used. So in the second trailer, we've all seen this with the YouTube thing of the commercial. This is in the second trailer, and then on the side there's a tiny little picture of Adam Savage right there. It says Savage Science of the Proton Pack. It's blurry, that's as clear as we've seen it so far, and blew it up to 8x10. I'm not sure how big Matt Sanders did his, but mine's an 8x10, so it'd be easy to get in a frame when it's done. I'm going to have Adam sign that. Hopefully be able to talk Ghostbusters with him a little bit. I plan on asking him maybe how many more of these tested videos behind the scenes of Ghostbusters Afterlife we can expect. The one we saw today, I was excited about that one. It was cool. It was over 12 minutes of just looking at different aspects of that farmhouse and the set. Looking for, well, he did the other one too. I haven't mentioned it, where he got to drive the Ecto 1. And so that was cool too. So that's 2 major videos that he's put out. How much more is going to be out there? He said he was out there for a week. So I'm going to try to pick his brain a little bit. I'm not going to really dig into anything. I don't think that would be spoilerish, but excited. I mean, he's one of the guys I've been a big fan of since Mythbusters first came out when I was in college, and watched it all the whole way through the series. And for him to have something that bleeds into Ghostbusters now and kind of combine those 2 things for me is really cool. So excited about meeting him. I plan on giving him one of my business cards, maybe tell him a little bit about the channel. I think he would be interested in some of the Proton Pack Detective videos that I made, that series in the summer. If you haven't checked those out, if you're a builder, just look on my channel for Proton Pack Detective, and I have the videos for pretty much every hero and semi-hero pack used in the first 2 movies. And I think he would find that interesting, how we've taken all that information and, you know, made it more efficient, easier to use, and more of a reference that a lot of you guys have messaged me and said thank you for putting this in a easier to swallow package, to where it was easier to understand and just quickly see what I need for this certain pack, so that I'm not looking at the wrong pack, looking at the wrong screenshot or the wrong reference photo, thinking I'm seeing this, but I'm actually looking at the wrong thing, buying the wrong parts, and then having to go redo it later. That was a frustrating part of the fandom for me and my pack that I'm still working on over there. That's one of the things I want to share with Adam. It was something that I think that could be used by other Ghostbusters fans. I know he's built packs, and I'm sure he's got people in his circle that would be interested in certain things like that. So I'm not trying to get him to promote the channel or anything silly like that. I just want to offer up this as a resource to somebody who I know is a builder and would appreciate something like that. So that's my plan. When I do get a chance to walk up and talk to him behind glass, as it will be at a con, as he's been doing lately. But that's fine. And just excited to be able to get out and do something fun like that this weekend. As far as an Afterlife topic today, I've kind of gone a long way before I've gotten to this point, so I apologize. But since we've already talked about the set with the Savage video, I kind of want to talk about location, not necessarily the set, but the overall setting of Ghostbusters Afterlife. And they've done something that a lot of people, you know, kind of turned their nose at first when we started learning more about the movie, when they were starting to film it a couple of years ago. And that's taking it out of New York and putting Ghostbusters in a rural setting. And if you're going to remove one part of the Ghostbusters formula, if you want to call that, with it being, you know, the people, the props, the equipment, New York, with the firehouse and everything included there. I think of all those things, if we had to cut off one, the tops on my list to be one to change out for something else would be the setting, because a lot of fan franchises have made fan videos with basically Ghostbusters franchised into their city and their location, and so they still have the equipment, and they're still playing the roles of, if not the Ghostbusters in the movies, somebody in that same idea, in that same role. So we've kind of seen that before, that it doesn't necessarily have to fit New York or have to fit in a city. So I'm open to that, and I think it'll be more relatable to more people. I've never lived in a big city. The most I've ever lived in, population-wise, for a town I've lived in, was about like 25,000, 30 tops. And, a lot of America is that way. Suburbs and small towns. And I think people that grow up and live in locations like that might not relate with the urban vibe as easily as it'll be this way. It'll be more relatable to these people when they see the small town setting. See Paul Rudd running out of a Walmart. How relatable is that? Walmart, part of our everyday lives. Just a regular, big box store, and not these massive buildings and things that we only see on TV or when we're on vacation. Aside from just, the few million people that live there. But I like the idea. I think it's kind of weird that they said, okay, this is Oklahoma, but we're going to film it all in Canada. But I understand that there's reasons behind that, and was able to film it at a cheaper cost, and Jason being Canadian, there's connections there. I get it, but there's not a whole lot of people saying you can't film in Oklahoma, from what I know. So, but it would have worked either way. But let's call it Oklahoma. That's what'll be fun. I mean, it's a fictitious place anyway. Oklahoma's not, but the city that they're going to be in is going to be a fictitious, Somerville. All that's to say is, open to the idea. When you first found out that Ghostbusters Afterlife was going to be pulled out of New York, and there's a chance we might not see any of the locations we're familiar with, especially the firehouse. Maybe the firehouse will show up for a quick second here or there. I don't know. If you do know from looking at spoiler things, don't tell me. But there's a chance it could be there just for a tiny bit. We do know that at least Ray's a cult going on. I'm assuming that's still in New York. But aside from that, we really don't have any indication that any major part of this movie is going to take place in New York. It's all going to be in this rural setting, small town setting. And they can do more with it. It'll be, it's not just buildings and streets and, a park in the middle and the waterways around it, the sunny subway tunnels underneath. I've kind of explored all that already. So, getting out into open fields and the mine and the cool shots of Ecto-1 driving down the lonely highway with, just scenery around it, with just open, basically if you were going to drive, a couple hours in Texas, basically if you get out of where I live and drive a couple hours, it's what you kind of see. Eventually you're going to get to a point where there's just highway and nothing else. And that's relatable. That's kind of cool that it's not just buildings and people stacked on top of each other and the bustle, and it's a different vibe. It's a different color palette, is something that Jason even put out there. It'll look different, but there's enough connectivity to keep it to be Ghostbusters. And looking forward to seeing how all that works out. But what are your thoughts? Do you wish it would have all stayed in New York? Do you think they made a mistake by taking it out of the city and putting it somewhere else? Or are you happy, and are you one of those people that would relate more to this being in a non-urban area? And give me your thoughts. Let me know. Again, don't put any spoilers or anything in the comments. If you are going to be at Fan Expo, be sure, like I said, look me up. If you see me, flag me down, say, "Hey, Matt," across the room. I'm open to it. Let's see each other, get a picture, hang out for a minute. It'll be cool. I will have stuff on my social media as I'm there, so I'll try to take pictures and put some stuff on Twitter and Instagram as I'm there if I get any kind of signal. You know how that can be sometimes. But follow me if you haven't already. Twitter at TPPINAT, just the abbreviation for the Proton Pack is Not a Toy. And then also on Instagram at the Proton Pack is Not a Toy. And then always, you'll see me at least once a week here on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you like what you see, please do so. It'll help me out. And we're getting close to that 600 subscriber mark. So we'll keep moving up almost every day. Really excited about the future of the channel and you guys being on board here. And the movie coming up, and then who knows after that. It's an exciting time to be a Ghostbusters fan, and I'm glad to be able to share the experience with other people, even though I'm not able to see your faces. I feel that we're a community here, and it's fun to be able to have that understanding with somebody else, and that's what community is all about, right? So I'll stop rambling. Appreciate you being able to follow along with my off-script rambles here, and I'll see you in the next video, and hopefully this weekend. Have a good day. Peace out.